Wow. Okay. Okay, Lawlers, welcome to the Beginner's Zed Guide. If you've wanted to play this champion, he's a pretty cool assassin, so we're going to run through some of his abilities, basic laning combos and trading patterns, and get you guys off to a good foot to start playing the Shadow Assassin. So, Zed is very unique in terms of having no mana as a champion. There's a few other champs we've covered that are the same way. So you use energy to cast your abilities. The first one you usually want to learn is your Q Razor Shuriken. This is basically a skill shot. He throws a shuriken out and deals some damage. You can use this a few different ways. Generally, before you turn level 3 with Zed, you're going to get harassed like this brand is doing us right now. So you want to use it to last hit minions at a safe distance. So when the minions are starting to get low, you want to just use your Q to last hit them. It deals damage to everything that it passes through, but anything past the first unit it hits is going to deal a little bit less damage. So the way to look at this is the Shuriken, the first thing it hits, it's going to deal the most damage. Anything after that, it's going to deal a little bit less. So you still want to use this to kind of last hit safely. As you can see there, we can grab some minions with it. And if you can, you want to use it to kind of poke the enemy. So if you can, you're just going to try and use it to poke the enemy like that if they give you the chance. It's only even at level 1 a 6-second cooldown, so you can spam it and you can use it again at your discretion to either last hit minions and get some gold or to try and harass the enemy later. So let's quickly talk about Zed's passive before we jump into another ability, Contempt for the Weak. When he attacks any enemy below 50% health, that includes minions, it's going to deal an additional 6% max health magic damage. So his passive is really good for last hitting creeps and getting that gold from the last hits. Okay, so not only can you use your Q to last hit from a safe distance, you want to make sure that you're using your passive to grab those last hits when you see minions at around the 15% health mark or so. So really Zed comes alive at level 3 in lane, and we're going to pick up a few abilities now and show you guys that combo. So the E, basically Shadow Slash, when you press it, he spins and deals damage around him in a circle. So pretty basic ability, nothing to really go crazy about there. The W, wow, that missed. The W is where things get interesting with Zed. So your combo, once you get to level 3 and you learn each of your basic abilities, is going to be, you're going to throw a shadow with W. So Living Shadow is a really, really amazing ability in this game. It's basically a free flash, and it lets Zed throw a shadow anywhere around him, and then if you press W again, you can become that shadow and go to that location. So you can use it to basically do what a flash does. So we'll just use it here defensively before we show the combo. So you can see, you can just kind of blink to a location, okay? Now, the shadow replicates any ability that Zed casts, including the Q and the E. It doesn't do auto attacks, but any abilities, okay? So you'll max out your Q first just because it's kind of your spammy ability, but once we get our W off cooldown here, I'll show you what the combo is, okay? So you want to throw your combo out to maximize damage, obviously, and land as many of your abilities as you can. We know that the W, the Shadow Clone, mimics any of our other Q and E casts. So what you want to do is you want to throw the W out at the enemy champion and then press E on them and try and hit them with your shurikens, okay? So let's see if we can do that here. So you can see that combo right there, right? So the Shadow mimics our abilities, okay? So we're going to use a couple health pots here just to get back up. This brand's been bullying us as we've been talking about these abilities, but you want to use your Shadow, you want to use your E, and you want to use your Q. So that's your basic laning combo with Zed. He's not the most beginner-friendly champ, and if this is already kind of confusing to you, that's fine. I mean, just play around with him a little bit, get used to the basic abilities, and then you can slowly learn to put them together as a combo. But again, your W, the clone, copies any of your abilities. So you want to try and hit brand with as many things as you can. So again, throw out the W, E, and then throw out your 2 Qs, okay? So you can see this clone copies what we do, all right? So that's your basic laning trade combo. You're going to be running Electrocute in your rune setup as Zed. So if you land your W, your E, and both Qs, you're going to proc that Electrocute combo and deal some good damage. Okay, so before we even talk about the ult, let's see if we can use this combo again. Okay, so we're going to step up, W, E, and then Q, hopefully land both. And if you want, you can go to your shadow's location by pressing W again, which we did there. So if you feel like going into melee range or getting closer to the enemy champion is a good idea, you can do that. The general recommendation is make sure you don't go in unless you know you can kill them or win the trade very, very hard to the point that they're going to run away from you. You want to try and pepper the enemy champion, play very patiently, aggressively, but patiently, and get them to a point where if you do go into your shadow, you're going to deal a lot of damage to them. So you can see here, right, the W is going to copy our abilities, so we throw it out. We can E and then throw 2 Qs, right? That's the key to playing Zed well. You need to learn that basic combo, the W-E-Q combo. All right, once you learn that and you land that on the enemy champion a few times, they'll be in kill range, which is about less than 50% health, and that's where you can look to get aggressive and actually go in on the shadow. So let's say the champ was here, you could go in on that shadow and then land your combo as well. Okay, so the new items here that they have, if you just look at what's recommended for Zed here and just build off of that, Riot's tried to do a good job of saying who it's good against. So I mean, just for argument's sake, this game, we're just going to build into the Duskblade here. Very normal item on Zed, very common. I'm going to build full damage to start and get close to that. I'm going to skip the boots for now. Cool trick with Zed you can do is use your W to get back to lane faster. Again, this is essentially a 19-second cooldown flash, so make sure you're using it whenever is advantageous to do so, which in this case is getting back to lane. So knowing that our WEQ combo uses the shadow, let's talk about our R now, Death Mark. So this is Zed's ultimate. He basically dashes to an enemy champion. It's within the blue circle here you can see around us here. So it's not super long range, it's not short either. And he marks that champion. After 3 seconds, that mark is going to trigger. So the damage triggered by that mark is basically the amount of damage that you do in those 3 seconds. So really simply, your R lets you quickly land on an enemy champion, and then as much damage as you do to them in 3 seconds, it's going to do it to it again after that mark triggers. So really, really bursty, okay? The basic way you want to land this combo is you want to R onto them and then use that WEQ combo like we talked about before. That's going to maximize your damage, right? So we'll see here, R, W, E, and then try and land all your Qs if you can, okay? If you're really, really good at this combo and you're really good at Zed, what you're looking to do is basically what's called a triple Q, okay? Where you land all 3 of your Razor Shurikens from your R shadow, because that leaves a shadow behind when you blink to them, when the W shadow comes out, and then your Q, which is going to hopefully land all 3 Shurikens on them. If you can do that with an E and maybe an auto attack in there as well, you're going to burst out pretty hard, okay, and deal a lot of damage. That's your Zed all-in, meat and potatoes combo. There's a lot of fancy things you can do with Zed. We're not going to get into it in this video. This is just a beginner's guide covering off kind of basic laning from levels 1 to 3, and then how to all-in with that combo we just mentioned there. And that's it. If you can just get good at doing those 2, that's a really good start to playing Zed as a beginner, okay? So again, the basic combo, W, E, and then land both your Qs, okay? That's going to use your electrocute and probably chunk them like that. When you do that 1 or 2 times, you're looking for that all-in. So we're going to try and do that again and look for an all-in here. I'm going to pop my potions really quick. But again, if they're in an all-in range, instead of just staying off your shadow on that WEQ combo, you might look to go in on it. So W, E, and then Q, land both your things again. So now you can see he's quite low. He's going to have to back off. Now, on the 3rd time we use our WEQ combo, which is just a normal lane combo, we may look to actually press W again so we can teleport to our shadow's location and get really, really close to the enemy champion, right? Close that distance and try and go for the all-in. So Brand recalled because we almost killed him. So we're just going to push this lane in really quick here and talk about maybe one other important aspect about playing Zed, especially if you get ahead, okay? Eventually, when you get good with Zed and you can land that basic combo, the WEQ combo, or your ultimate, the laner's going to start to respect you and probably not give you too many chances to kill them. So what you want to do is you want to try and roam to a lane, either the bot or the top. I generally recommend roaming to the bottom lane because there's more people to kill down there, and just by virtue of there being 4 people in one lane, that's going to swing the game a little bit harder. Okay, so you want to come down here and see if you can find a kill like so. Okay, and then perfect, snowball the game like that, right? So if he's gonna stay, we can try and combo him too and get him. Basically with Zed, you know, at its core, it's very, very simple. You have to land your skill shot combo in lane. If you do that enough, you can probably use your ult and kill them. If they don't give you the chance, you're going to roam and you're going to try and kill people with your ult in other lanes. That's the core of Zed. If you do that well enough and you do that hard enough, eventually you can kill anybody from pretty good range and start to snowball the game. Okay? So let's just show one other type of, maybe let's call it a long range combo here. If you get fed and you can start to kill people without having to land a triple Q in your ultimate. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait about 51 seconds to do so. But essentially what the long range combo is you use your W and then you close the distance into a champion till you're close enough to use your R, right? So in that case, if we W'd from here, we would have landed to about here, and then our R range would be about there, and you could have R'd onto Brand. So essentially, you could have went from here all the way to that Brand and killed him without doing too much that he could stop. Okay, so we're gonna wait a little bit longer here. I'll land a combo if I can. Okay, that's fine. If you miss some, that's okay, right? It's still damage. And again, the great thing with Zed is no mana. You can just keep taking your chances and play patiently while your cooldowns are down, and then wait for that W to come up and play aggressively again. Okay, so let's do the long range combo now because he's gonna just give us a chance here. So let's just pretend you want to close this type of a gap on someone, right? You could run, snap to your W by pressing it twice, and then R them. Okay, so let's do that just to show. W, R, right? So you can see how that combo went from here all the way to here. Now, even if he moved back, I could have went all the way up to here and caught him with my R, okay? It's a really good combo to use when you're ahead and you just want to try and keep killing and catching up to people, okay? Because you can close a lot of distance. In general, make sure you're fed before you use that because it's probably more valuable to have your W within range of the champion so you can land that triple Q shuriken and deal a crap ton of damage. Okay, so there's not too much else to cover with Zed in terms of a beginner's guide. If you guys pick this up well, hopefully after 5-10 games you'll start to get more comfortable with landing your WEQ combo in lane before you're level 6. When you're level 6, you'll try and chunk your opponent down a couple times and then use your R and WEQ combo to land that triple shuriken, that coveted triple shuriken, and get that big one shot that's so satisfying. And if you do those two things well, you'll start to snowball and you can look to have some fun with roams and the long range ult combo and really start to carry games and be that deadly assassin that everybody's scared of. Okay, so we'll do one more combo here to this poor Brand before we go. Again, we'll try and do the triple Q combo just to show you the damage difference here. So with the triple Q combo, ideally you want to get close enough just to land your R on the first cast. And then there you go. Alright, easy peasy when you get the hang of it, guys. Have fun with Zed. Let me know how it goes if you manage to destroy a few people in your games or if you have any questions. Obviously have fun exploring all the different things you can do with Zed's shadows and his R's and snapbacks and all kinds of things like that. There's some pretty crazy plays out there. If you just search Zed montage, that should give you all the motivation you need to really dump a bunch of games into this guy and learn him. So I'll catch you in the next one.